G'day mates, in today's video I want to kick off talking about the new arena awards that finally got announced. They aren't just an icon or a spray, this is a proper cosmetic that's going to level up for every single new division you reach in arena. And I want to give my thoughts on whether this is actually going to make arena a proper ranked game mode. Also, we had the news break today that Epic has successfully sued someone for selling cheats on Fortnite and announced they're going to be cracking down and taking more people to court for selling and buying cheats. This is going to be a big step forward to stopping what is starting to become a problem on Fortnite. Also, I want to recap all the craziness from today's Duo Cash Cups. It's an insane video. Let's just jump into it. Epic finally announced the rewards we are going to be getting for grinding arena for this season, and I'm imagining future seasons. And it isn't just an emoticon or a spray, it is what we've been asking for. It is a gun wrap that levels up based on what arena rank you get. So if you go on Fortnite right now, if you go to the news section, you've probably already seen this. The front page is arena rewards. Climb the Contender League Division 1 or above in arena to earn a wrap at the end of the season based on your final division level. And honestly, the wrap's kind of clean. I've heard some people say they really don't like it. A lot of people saying it would look better without the logo at the front, but that's what's going to level up. As you can see in the top left, as you get higher in divisions, let's say Champions League Division 10, you'll get a way cooler logo. So this is a huge step in the right direction. I want them to go a little bit further. I want the entire gun wrap to be different, because I feel like most people, when you're fighting them, or if you're the one even using it, you won't actually notice that much of a difference between the highest rank and the lowest rank one, but it's still exactly what we've been asking for. I just want Fortnite to go a little bit further. I want it to be a gun wrap, a pickaxe, a back bling, a skin, maybe all of them if that's asking too much, and it has fully editable styles that are completely distinct from each other. I want it to have like a glow on it. I want it to have a different effect. I really want the top level to feel a lot cooler so it was worth grinding for. No phenomenal player is really going to go out of their way to grind this, but it is still going to be a cool reward and a cool flex for players. So I don't want to make this sound like a negative. This is still a big step in the right direction, and I love that Epic is clearly listening to the community. I just want them to go another step further. There is one thing I did want to point out though that I don't think enough people have been talking about that would be really cool, is technically you could actually use this wrap to show off with this skin. If you guys remember the customized captain, this is a skin that based on your gun wraps actually changes the style. So if I go into edit style and I pick one of these other gun wraps, it actually changes the way my skin looks. So you can do this with any crazy skin. So you could technically put this one on, and I don't know if the logo is going to show. It could look really nice. You could technically put on the Champions Division 10 gun wrap with this skin, and you might actually have the logo on it, which could be a cool flex, but imagine how much better that would be. Even imagine a skin like this, or I would hope one that's even cooler, and it is just completely different based on what rank you get to. Like, this has so much potential, Epic. Just please take it that one step further. Next up, I want to go through this ridiculous article that just got published on GameSpot that is titled, "An Australian Fortnite cheater who was selling compromised accounts has now been made to publicly apologize, having settled in court with Epic Games." And this goes on to say that this person has been successfully sued and has to pay damages to Epic Games, which means real money for selling cheats in Fortnite. This is massive. Amidst a whole bunch of people freaking out that cheaters are on the rise in Fortnite, it feels like everyone's cheating and Epic is doing nothing. They've actually taken someone to court and won, which sets a big precedent going forward, meaning if they're going to take other people to court, there is a very good chance they will win. And this person had to make a public apology and pay money, which Epic then donated to Child's Play, which is a charity, proving they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because they don't want people to cheat in Fortnite. This is a massive step forward. I'll put the whole link down below for the actual article. It's on gamespot.com, but I'll go through the main points. So basically, Epic offered a statement on the subject as a whole, saying that selling compromised player accounts and cheat technology puts people's information at risk and ruins the experience for people who are playing fairly. We take the illegal sale of these items seriously and will pursue all available options to make sure our game remains fun, fair, and never pay to win. This is huge. If you know anyone, or if anyone out there is currently buying or selling cheats on Fortnite, I would be very, very concerned right now, because not only did they take someone to court, they took someone to court who is a citizen of another country, which unfortunately in this case was Australia. Can't be too proud of that one. But they're not just going after easy targets now. They are going after people who are very clearly selling and buying accounts, mostly around the fact that they are cheating, whether it be aimbot, whether it be any of the stuff we've seen recently. So So yes, people are just buying these accounts like nothing and saying, oh, well, nothing's going to come from it. I'll just buy a new account and do it again. Well, apparently now you can be sued by Epic, and trust me, a billion-dollar company's legal team is not someone you want to be messing with. So this is a big step. And now we have LAN events coming back that obviously gives people a lot of hope that players who will go to these LAN events and place, we know are placing under fair circumstance and settings. They are not able to cheat. So we can start to get to the bottom of all this and not have all these conversations thinking that every single person who comes out of nowhere on Fortnite is cheating anymore. I am so happy this has happened, and I can't wait to see what this means going forward for Fortnite. Next up, I want to talk about some big meta changes to the map that not a lot of people are talking about. We have two major ones. First off, we have the dinosaurs coming back to the map. We have Colombo or Terry, whatever you want to call him, underneath the ground that he's making geysers. This is basically his nose, but if you go in them, you get a geyser effect where you fly into the sky, you pull your glider, and you can rotate. And not enough people are talking about this. This is having a huge impact on specific spots around the map. This map will show you exactly where they are. Unfortunately, they are clustered very close together. They are 3 in the far north, and they're not going to be as helpful because you have rifts nearby. The ones in the south, while being close to Synapse, maybe won't be as helpful because you have rifts as well. But the ones that are just outside chonkers could be very good for rotating. But if we have more of these appearing or moving around the map coming into FNCS, it'll be very big for the game. The second change I wanted to talk about that not enough people are focusing on is right now, if you have an IO car, you're at a massive advantage in competitive. And we're seeing this in the Duo Cash Cup and the FNCS qualifiers. The team with reliable IO cars are placing so much higher than all the other teams, and other teams aren't too happy about that. But everyone seems to be forgetting they're going away very soon. We had Fortnite status tweet out, with the improved server performance from these changes, we are now implementing them across all competitive playlists, including Arena. Note, 0 build cups are unaffected. Also, we'll be removing IO vehicles in our 20.40 update expected on May 17th. So in 5 days of this video going live, all the IO cars are going to be removed. That is right before FNCS semifinals and grand finals. So a lot of these teams that are qualifying and relying heavily on these IO cars are not going to be having them going into semifinals and grand finals. I wanted to talk about that in case you're a team who's been playing towards them for Duo Cash Cups or competing using them. Just know that they are going to be taken out of the game in about 5 days, and that's going to have a massive impact on competitive right now. The amount of teams that I watched today in the Duo Cash Cup, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, who are fighting in Storm, getting stuck in Storm, and just being griefed, and other teams were just hitting their easy car rotates straight to endgame and through endgame. That's not going to work anymore. Let's talk about the Duo Cash Cup finals, the last Cash Cup before our last qualifier this weekend. So a lot of these teams have already qualified, but some of the teams that are popping off haven't, and they're looking very good going into the last chance to qualify. Remember, most of these teams already have good consistency points as far as FNCS goes, but this weekend, if they get top 5 in round 4 on Sunday, they go straight through to grands, and skipping semifinals is a really big deal. And this is going to come into what I was talking about with the vehicles and the changing meta in a little bit soon, because both on NA East and EU, we have 2 common factors for the teams. Firstly, they both have the exact same drop spot. We had Pink and Anas in first on 214 points and DJ Neomzo in first on 220, both dropping the top side of covert. They were both uncontested today, which is really good to see. This is one of the first times we've seen Pink and Anas uncontested, because they're normally contested by none other than Malibuka and Mustache, and that is always going to cause issues. But remember, Malibuka and Mustache are already in grand finals for EU, so Pink and Anas this weekend should have uncon top side of covert as well. So a top 5, if they get unconned, is almost guaranteed. The second commonality between them, Blood X. Right now, it looks like anyone Blood X coaches is just improving at such a ridiculous rate. Is insane that I had to at least mention it. The way that both these teams played today was so phenomenal to see, and seeing the similarities between them was so incredible. They're both super height dominant teams, but they don't just pad onto height like idiots and just brain dead 50-50. You don't get this consistent of match history. Remember, both of them have 6 matches. Pink and Anas only got 1 win. DJ Neomzo got 2, but getting 214 and 220 points comes on the back of 6 insanely consistent games, or 5 ridiculous games and 1 throwaway. Both of them played really well. They are utilizing the IO cars at the moment. Both of them dropping on the top side of covert means they could hit pads, they could hit any of the cannons, they could even cannon onto the pad. Like, you've got enough rotates out of covert, but both of them are relying on the IO car, taking it from the top of the mountain, quite often not using the pads and the cannons. What I wanted to make the point of, though, is do I still think both these teams will perform in grand finals even without the cars? Yes, if they're uncontested under good circumstances, they will still place incredibly highly. I just want to see how these teams go once these vehicles are taken out, because one of the biggest concerns is they're not going to be able to practice without them unless they choose to use their cash cups or FNCS playing under less than ideal circumstances of not using their advantages just because they won't have them in a future tournament. The vehicles are going to get taken out, and if they've already auto-qualified to grand finals like DJ and Yomzo have, and I'm going to guess Pink and Anas will do this weekend, they're not going to get a chance to even play with them until grand finals or another duo cash cup. So we'll have to see how they perform without them, but I did not want to take that away from either of them. Both of them are playing absolutely phenomenal, and if you look across this list of the teams that are placing really well right now, majority of them also still have access to a vehicle. So once all the vehicles get taken out and we get that very even playing field for these teams, it's going to be interesting to see which ones still hold up. And I honestly think Pink and Nas, DJ and Yomzo are going to be two teams that will. So going through the rest of the EU leaderboard, we also got our first chance of seeing another big team uncontested. Snazy and Podesai finally got to show what they could do out of Coney without people dropping on them. Obviously, they've been being dropped on by Flowers and Mappy recently, and Vortex and Sons towards the start of the season. Unfortunately, Vortex and Sons haven't made an FNCS set lobby yet. Really hoping they can do that this weekend. We also had Axe Force and Usury, which is a team that I haven't been talking too much about, but with 2 wins in their 6 games, they played absolutely phenomenally. They had 2 games where they went down on spawn, but in their other 4 games played really consistently. We also had iDrop and Jerky, who were uncontested at the Logjam. Again, not seeing them uncontested very often. They started off really hot, playing high ground incredibly aggressively. They did have 2 games they went down 17th and 19th, so not a single time going down on spawn. The main thing for them was outside of their first game with the double-digit elims, they just didn't pick up enough eliminations. They had 2, 1, 1, 1, and 2 eliminations, which when you're getting top 5s and top 10s, you got to pick up some more eliminations, especially with 3 points per elim. But really consistent placement, which is a good sign coming into an FNCS grand final where there's going to be 12 games, because that's what the eyes are on. We then had Trulex and Chico, Kroll and Bandwise, Seti and Kami, Steno and Lewis, Karma and Kylie, and then Hellfire and Scram. And the top 10 on EU was looking really good. We're obviously missing some big names up there, right? We're missing Tastin and Chapix, we're missing Aqua and Vino, and we're missing Trippern and Thomas. And the south side of COVID today was an absolute disaster. Watching all 3 of these teams, 3 of the best teams in the world, just, I can't even say 50-50. We made the joke today that it was the 33.3 repeater drop because the 3 of them were just full sending on 1 or 2 guns. And honestly, Tastin and Chapix were ending up the best out of it because they would normally ignore the guns, run into covert, get guns, and come back and clean up whoever wins. There was a bunch of beef going around on social media between Aqua and Vino. They were on Archie's stream freaking out at each other. They were going a little bit crazy. And honestly, when you have drops with this little, I don't want to say skill in it because you still have to drop well, but for these players' calibers, they're not getting max mats, they're not building up, they're not playing angles, they're not playing smart, they're just running at each other with whoever gets the best gun first. And even then, the winner of this then still had to fight Noel Riley and Vidil, who are also dropping inside, and Pink and Anas are up above them. It was just 5 of the best teams in the world all in one location, and you knew things were going to get heated. So it was exciting to watch, but if you're wondering why a lot of those big high caliber name teams aren't up there on the leaderboard, it's basically because of that. And coming into finals, that has a lot of people pretty heavily concerned for what grand finals is going to look like, because a lot of these teams, even if they contest each other, let's say that the ones that haven't already made grand finals make semifinals, right, which they all will based on their placement so far, all they have to do is win 1 singular game. If they just get off spawn a few times, any of these teams will 100% win at least 1 game. So there is a good chance we see all of them in grand finals. And if all of them still keep up the egos and they have the confidence to think they can walk away from this, they're all going to drop there again. And I have no idea how they're going to go. This always raises that big discussion of why don't they just leave the drop spot? And everyone keeps saying that about Benji and Savage right now. Why do they keep going tilted? Why don't they go somewhere else? It's because all the good drop spots are taken. I do argue that there would be other drop spots they could try to take or fight and maybe scare another team off that would have a better performance. But right now, you also don't want to be the team that leaves, because now they know in future seasons, if they drop on you and they push you hard enough, you will leave. So this is going to be a scary one to see what it means for the big teams in EU, because right now we have 3 of these teams locked in a big battle, which I can't see any of them walking away from unless one of them stops dropping there, at least. The rest of the NA East leaderboard is equally important. We had Mason and Jackson, a team that I have not really talked about at all, have not really been on my radar, come in second place. Yes, they are almost 60 points down from first. DJ Niomzo just absolutely dominated, but they did it with 5 games as well. They didn't connect into their first game. Jackson was actually in my Twitch chat telling me that he thought the game started a quarter past, so a bit of a brain blank there, but hey, I don't think they would have been able to get first with their 6th game unless they went absolutely demon mode, so a second is the best they really could have hoped for anyway. So big performance from them. We had Teo and Pledge in 3rd place clutch up a 6 elim win in their last game to get the podium finish. Big performance from them. We had Slacks and Clarity G, who again also with only 5 matches came in 4th. You're noticing a trend here. There was quite a few teams that didn't connect into the NA games today, and I know you're probably thinking, was it a huge glitch? Was there errors? Was there internet bugs? It just looks like really unfortunate circumstances. Some teams having internet issues, some having PC issues, some of them forgetting the time the tournament started. It wasn't any major mess up by Epic, but you'll notice a lot of these guys only have 5 games. We also had Reciprocal and Snaz in 5th place, Princess Wolf and Swappy, Yuz Casca, Noisy and G5RC, Donnie and Macwood, and Shaw and Zypher. So some really underrated picks in your top 10, and NA East actual competitors was not as stacked as NA. There was a lot of EU teams in there. There was a lot of Phil teams in there. There was a lot of teams not taking it as seriously right before FNCS around the corner, but it was still good to see DJ Niomzo come out on top with a very dominant Cash Cup performance. All right, guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please chuck a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.